Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshi traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Don't be a stranger. Again, if you are new, I just received a text from Danfo. First time that's happened. That's me. It's me. Bag 76 first. That's probably me. So, guys, if you bought a DVD from me, not bought a DVD. I'm not selling any DVDs. If you bought the documentary In Search of Uhuru, okay? Like, listen, when you guys buy stuff from me and you leave your numbers, when you sign up for the mailing list, I'm going to call you personally. So back 76 first, go ahead and respond. And to prove that it's really me, I'm going to respond back to you. So go ahead and respond, acknowledge that you got the text, and then I'm going to respond back. So guys, hit the like button. Also make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements. Announcement number one, we are rolling to Cape Town. That is March 25th through April 2nd. March 25th through April 2nd, we are rolling to Cape Town. If you're interested in joining us, please visit danfo.africa. Again, please visit danfo.africa. We will love to host you in Cape Town. We are also rolling to Senegal. And I'm going to get into Senegal here shortly because Senegal is the only country as of right now in Africa where you can have, how can I put it, a stable country with Islam, in which the majority of the country is Islamic. We'll say, I hate using the term sub-Saharan. We'll say black country. So Senegal is the only black African country with a predominantly Muslim population that is actually stable and functioning. Well, we'll say stable. I mean, they're all functioning, but I mean that's completely stable. Okay, only Senegal, unless I'm wrong, because I don't think Ivory Coast is predominantly majority Islamic country. I gotta look that up. Ivory Coast religious demographics. See, so it's 42% Muslim, 39% Christian. When you're dealing with Senegal, it's damn near 80%. I would imagine. Hold on, probably more. Yeah, it's 97%. So Senegal is 97%, 95 to 90% predominantly Islamic. Senegal is. Ivory Coast, yeah, is it the majority? But it's right. We could always say half and half. Again, Senegal is the only country in Africa. Well, I'm sorry, the only Black African country that is predominantly Islamic, that is doing well. And the reason why is because the type of Islam they practice, as they say, pray to the they don't pray to Mecca, they pray to Tuba. Figuratively saying. No, but they pray to Mecca, but the religion, when you're dealing with the Murid community, has been the Islam in Senegal has been Africanized to the point where, you know, it, it's just it hasn't gotten in the way of progress. There we go. Meanwhile, when you're dealing with what's going on in northern Nigeria, when you're dealing with what's going on in the Sahel, the radical Islamic factions are holding these countries back. Prove me wrong. Again, Islam is holding these countries back. I know the General Traore is a Muslim, but his Muslim brothers are holding him back. They are in the way, and they're going to continue to be a thorn. Look at what's going on in Sudan. That's another one. Again, look at what's going on in Sudan. It's a problem. And people talk about the golden age of Islam and Mansa Musa when he brought the Islamic scholars, to West Africa. And then we talk about Timbuktu. But radical Islam has been able to, for the most part, erase all of the progress from the golden Islam, the golden era of Islam that took place in, we'll say, Black Africa. It has been able to completely erase it. All the progress from Timbuktu to whatever progress that Islam or modernization that Islam brought to Black Africa, they have been able to completely destroy it and erase it, and it's a problem. And it's a huge issue. A huge issue in West Africa. And it's setting West Africa back. It really is. Like I said, Senegal is the only country that has been able to function and develop, the only Black African country that's been able to develop that is majority Islamic. Someone got kicked off his live for attempting to do a live about it on YouTube. I don't understand what you're saying. But hey, if you disagree, I'm gonna put the link in the chat room. If you disagree with me, you're saying you don't know what you're talking about, Dynasty. A link is in the chat room. But I remember Sheun Kuti said, like, if you look at Dubai, you look at Abu Dhabi, these are Islamic countries, but look at what they're building. Look at the progress. Look at the modernization. Meanwhile, in northern Nigeria, they just want to just destroy everything. They want to herd their cattle in the middle of the street, broad daylight, in the middle of traffic. It's just this form of Islam is very primitive. Go ahead, Kidola. And again, that might not have anything. And let me stop. Okay, let me back up. That might not have anything to do with Islam. But it's just this form of Islam that's being practiced in the Sahel to northern Nigeria is very primitive. I don't know why. Go ahead, Kidola. And again, that it has nothing. Let me back up. Let me retract my statement. The herding of cattle in on major roadways during rush hour, probably has nothing to do with Islam. But still, the point I'm trying to make, this Islam that's being practiced throughout the Sahel, from Sudan to northern Nigeria, is very primitive and it is setting the continent back. And the only country, Black African country in Africa that is developing, that is majority Islamic, is Senegal. Go ahead, Kidola.
Well, thank you, Dennis. Uh, I, I think in this topic, I think what happened is the Arab nations, I'm talking about Middle East now, they start seeing, because they already start weaponizing Islamics as part of the movement. So they were sending their people that already going there in their countries, especially Saudi Arabia, these Wahhabi ones. They already sending their people who are originally from this country to go back home to use it to destabilize some of these countries. Actually, if you check way back, there were nothing like this kind of Wahhabi extremist type of religion that actually going on. Yeah, they were practicing their religion, but not that extremist like Nigeria, where I'm from, whereby you can see a Muslim man married to a Christian woman. Even in the north, they live together. They have association together. You see, this extremists, they're there, and this thing been growing since 2001. Since 2001, and other Western countries, they actually help. Obama opened the gate of hell to West Africa. By using, to talk, Gaddafi was also recruiting them for him to be in power. So when Obama went over there, even when they warned him, please, don't destroy Libya. Even the guy Gaddafi himself said it. So since when Gaddafi was like the one holding the gate of hell from these people. When United States went there and destroyed Libya, that's how these people started coming into West Africa. They started getting access to arms, and guess what? That's where the jihad started in West Africa, all the way from Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger to Nigeria. And after some years, the Western people started weaponizing them too, to destabilize all these countries. But once your country is destabilized, they can easily come and control it. So what happened in Mali and Niger and Burkina Faso, they use it to destabilize so that they came in to control those people because of the minerals, everything that is there. Well, this will come to protect it, but never actually able to defeat these people. Or they didn't want to defeat them, so that when this government asks them to leave, they always have a source to say, look, if we leave, they're coming back. If we leave, they're coming back. That's how they get to Nigeria. Nigeria actually was just only be caused by corruption. Heavily corrupt people. So they give access to these people. They were not like extremists in Nigeria until they start forming Sharia law in that territory of the northern part of Nigeria. That those people thought with those Sharia law, their own people, politicians, will reduce their corruption. At least will face the people. No, it didn't really work like that. The man they used to gather the vote, which called Yusuf, that formed Boko Haram, or the originator of Boko Haram, were never really used to violence or even to attack. It was just like activists, civil rights, kind of like things. He was a preacher saying, no, see, we don't trust these people. But what happened? The politicians themselves said, this guy is very, very, very popular. If we allow this guy to grow, we will not able to hold vote. They brought him out and, gave him kind of like, they just delete him publicly. That's how his followers become pissed. The radical ones, instead of followers, now pick arms and started fighting the government slowly, until other ones started getting hands into them, started using them, the Arabia people, the Western people. That's what the problem we're having today. Corruption caused Nigeria problem, And that's what we are today now. That is now becoming a racketeer now. It's a business. Only God knows what it is. What happened in the Sahel area, those also was they don't use it to defeat the country, but they just use it continually to destabilize all the countries they would think they have minerals from and everything. Just what is going on in Iraq and Syria, whereby they use it to come in, but they're not actually not defeating them. That's just a problem. Both of them are far more dangerous to West Africa when all these things are going on. Why Senegal own is something else. If you check Senegal people are very dignity people. And no matter how you want to say, oh, they might be corrupt, but they always have a principle. And that principle, that's what they stand by. If you check what happened in this African Cup of Nations, they could not actually able to buy Senegal over, because of they want the cup and they want the dignity. That's the way the mindset of Senegalese. They don't want nothing. They just don't want it to do with anything to rubbish their name or their country. They're there to face their business and do their business, and they're not there to play game or start taking bribes and doing things. So Senegal is very, very, because of their lifestyle, and they care about themselves. I don't know, because they're majority Muslim, but they do actually care about their society, about the way they live and everything. That's where I could put it. Let me end up here. Let me start listening to that.
Okay. Go ahead, Morungaro.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the platform. Islam and France are both equally the problem. Islam is just codified Arab imperialism, insulated with a little bit of Levantine fairy tales and Levantine culture. But this problem isn't anything new. This dates back to the 11th century. When you go back to the Ouagadougou Empire, what was the nail in the coffin for the Ouagadougou Empire was the Takura Kingdom, and the Takura Kingdom was usurped by a Islamized leader named Warjabi, who was Tukulor, and they would end up teamed up with the Almoravids, which from Morocco. And they were there. The Almoravids of Morocco at that time is this iteration of Boko Haram nowadays. So Islamic fundamentalism has always been around since the inception of Islam. When it comes with Islam, you're going to have, when it deals with black people, you're going to have slavery, you're going to have cultural imposition, and you're going to have linguistic imposition. And like I said before, every region that Islam has came into Africa, you're going to see those three things. What the brother said before about the Wahhabism, that's definitely valid. America and the British have a large role to play when it comes to the spread of Wahhabism. They've armed them, and there are some accounts that they even started it. But I mean that's. With direct evidence, that's really hard to say. There is a direct account of an agent, but certain scholars discredit that. But again, they've directly played a part into the spread of Wahhabism, and that Wahhabi Salafi sect is destroying all throughout Africa. Like you said, the Sudan is destroying the Sahel. And the thing with Islam is you're always going to have a fundamentalist sect. The people in Senegal, they're always going to be subject to a jihad, because there's always going to be a fundamentalist element within Islam that's going to view what they're doing as haram. And if you're not going by their jurisprudence or what they view as their school of thought, then you're going to be outcast. So the same dynamics that happened in the 11th century, that happened 500 years later when Songhai got destabilized by the Moroccans from the Saudi Sultanate, it's the same thing. So yeah, I'll just pass the mic.
All right, go ahead, Burkina Bay. Unmute yourself. Burkina Bay, unmute yourself.
Hey, what's up, Dynas? How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
How's everybody doing on the panel?
Good, brother.
Cool. So, yeah, this is a very good question. And the observation that I'm going to start with is that the Arabs used Islam to enslave black people 12 centuries. They did it for 12 centuries before the transatlantic slave trade. that lasted like, let's say 4 to 5 centuries. All right. So I hope you guys are still following what I'm saying right now. And after those few centuries that the transatlantic slave trade happened, but then up to this day, the era of slavery through Islam kept going up to this day. All right. So what I'm trying to say is that the Arabs enslaved us for 12 centuries straight. They kept doing it during the transatlantic slave trade. And after the transatlantic slave trade, they kept going all the way to this day. Okay. So we can see it, for instance, in Mauritania. We can see it like in the Middle East. We can see it in Northern Africa. So they've been doing it for the longest, all right? So based on that observation, we can definitely say that Islam harmed us as a people way, way more than any other thing. That's for sure. But that's not to minimize all other oppressions that we also suffered next to Islam, all right? So all those other oppressions were harmful to us, but Islam, in my opinion, I think was by far more harmful than any other oppression we face. Now, people could argue that colonization kept going also all the way to this day, and it's true, because we're still fighting to free up ourselves from the West. So it wouldn't be incorrect to say that colonization kept going also all the way to this day. So yeah. Now, another observation that I wanted to make is that officially in Islam and in the Quranic texts, slavery is not forbidden. There's no official text that says that it's wrong to enslave people. Okay. That being said, up to this day, it's always been Black people that were victims of like of the fact that the Quran never condemned this practice, because Black people have always been the people that were enslaved using their religion. Okay, so yeah. So those are the observations that I can make for now. One last thing I'll say before passing the mic is that most Muslim people on the planet, okay? Because the truth is that Islam as a whole is a radical religion, okay? The problem is that Muslim people were tricked and deceived into believing that there is a modern way to practice this religion. But if you look at the text, you'll see that there is no radical way. I mean, there's no moderate way to practice the religion. And I can give just one example, okay? There's like a text, there's a passage in their books that suggests that if a Muslim was to have a brother that converts to another religion other than Islam, but then if that person is a good Muslim, he should kill that brother. You get what I'm saying? Whoever brother in their religion that converts to a different religion outside of their religion. So if they're a good Muslim, then they should kill that person, all right? The thing is that, firstly, not too many Muslims are knowledgeable of those texts, okay? And not too many Muslims on the planet practice those texts as well. Okay, why? Because they think there's a way to practice this religion in a moderate way. Like there's a moderate way to practice it, and they're deceived into believing it. Okay, because the minority who practice those texts are actually the real Muslims. But like the majority of Muslims look at those people as radical Muslims. Okay. And yet, that minority that are practicing the text are actually the real ones. It's just that the majority are not knowledgeable enough of the text to practice it, okay? And I'm gonna stop here for now.
All right, go ahead, Castronova.
Peace. Can you hear me, Dynas?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think this is a good question. Uh, I've raised a concern previously on this panel and on many panels that Islam enslaved Africans first, like that brother was saying. Uh, it was radical Arab Islamists that taught the Portuguese how to enslave Africans on the Swahili coast. So we wouldn't have a transatlantic slave trade if it wasn't for Islam. Islam kicked everything off. They started the whole slave trade with African people. Um, Now it's France an enemy? I wouldn't say necessarily just France. I would say the entire Europe because all of Europe participated in the scramble of Africa. Well, the major countries, for that matter, and the smaller, lesser countries, they didn't try to step in and stop it, so they complicit with it too. Um, I think I think our public enemy number one is definitely Islam. We can see today you got Islamic people over in the Sudan and they targeting black people. We know that ancient Kemet, a lot of the artifacts are still there in Sudan. What do you think they doing? They erasing that history so they can have claim that black sub-Saharan Africans, I don't like using that term either, but we're gonna use it for political purposes. Sub-Saharan Africans didn't build anything. We don't have any history. This is what they say online. And they're able to say that because of all of the destruction that they've done to our history. They've gone into Egypt and they've completely took over Egypt. They've completely took over all of North Africa and they subjugate the black people in those areas. Now, the first brother that was talking, he mentioned Gaddafi, and I know this is an issue with a lot of Africans. Gaddafi, slavery was happening under him too. All he was doing was sweeping it under the rug. So when they killed him, it didn't fall out of the sky into people's laps. This was something that was already going on. So when they kill him, no more sweeping it under the rug. Here it is, right in your face. Uh, any any Muslim, any Arab. Well, I'll say Arab. I'll start off with Arab. Any Arab is an enemy to Africa. Any Muslim, I would say, is an enemy to Africa. So people like Ibrahim Chahuri, though he may mean good consciously, subconsciously, what's been programmed to him with his religion, it don't mean good to Africa. And that's all I gotta say.
Let me read the super chat. Crenshaw Grinder 4725. Thank you for $10 holla. France has shorter history with West African and Islamic fundamental. Somebody got to mute themselves. Fundamentalism with West Africa. The jihadism is worse. Okay, muted. Go ahead, City. Go ahead, City.
Hey, Dennis.
Peace.
I think Islamic has nothing to do with Africa. I think I would say the French caused a lot of damage. If you look at the history of Africa, going back to the meeting that they had in Casablanca, in Morocco, and the Monrovia group, all the Christian leaders that were supporting the Westerners supported the Monrovia group. That was who? Ofoe Boye, Senko, and other Western puppet. While the Muslim group from Tunisia, Algeria, King of Morocco, Sekou Touré, Moribo Keita, and Kwame Nkrumah, they also put a Casablanca group. The group said that we should try to stand on our own. We should not be with the West. We should make sure that we should develop our own system and break away from the West. While the Monrovia group said, no, we should stay with the West. So if you look at in history, all the Islamic leaders, whether it's Sekou Touré, whether it's Ibrahim Babangida, first of all, When we had a civil war in Liberia, it was a Muslim leader that took Nigerian army and went and rescued the Liberians, right? The first April 14, 1980, that happened against Tobruk. It was Secretary that sent Guinea army and make sure that William R. Tobruk remain in power. So the Islamic leaders have set a lot of example. The guy who gave independence to Senegal, his name was Senghor. Senghor was not his real name. He changed his name to a French name. In fact, he was a Christian. What he said, well, we should not allow African country to take independence right now. We should remain under the leadership of the Westerners. We are not yet ready for independence, right? But Sekou Touré, Modibo Keita, and this guy, Kwame Nkrumah, they opposed that. When they overthrew Kwame Nkrumah, where did he go? He went to Guinea. He died in Guinea, right? He died in the hand of Islamic leader. So I don't think this thing had anything to do with religion, right? If you look at the northern part of Nigeria, right, you hardly see the Hausa in the Nigerian, I mean the Fulani outside Nigeria, or give me a terrible image to Nigeria. Who do you see that giving an ugly image to the Nigerians? Are the Christian, the one either from the south or from the other part. But the Northerners, they never travel. The only time you will see Northerners out if they are here for education. So I think religion had nothing to do with it. But when you say
Kamaru
French,
Usman.
let me
Kamaru
finish.
Usman.
When you finish French, I'm in Harlem, I'm in New York. When you walk into the French restaurant, what is a Guinean restaurant? What is a Senegalese restaurant? What is Malian restaurant? They automatically assume that you can speak French. So when you speak English, they're not happy with you. They will say, why you can't speak French to me? I said, well, French is not African language. So the French part of Africa, they are so into the French. The colonization have brainwashed them, thinking that France is everything. When you look at the Sahel right now, right, the AES, do you think the guy from Niger, the guy from Mali, the only option that they had was to be with Ibrahim Traore, right? But if they had the option, if France was to accept that guy in Niger when he overthrew Mohamed Bazoum, if he were to be accepted by the French, I don't think he would be part of the Sahel. The reason why the only option that he had to join Ibrahim Traore was because the French went against the coup d'etat, right? So people can accept situation because they have no other options, right? So, but saying that Islamic religion
They got
had
30
anything to
seconds.
do,
30 seconds. I gotta pass the mic.
and the other guy said was Senegal. Senegal, for example, is 99% Muslim, right?
Right.
The African Cup of Nations that they play in Morocco had nothing to do with Senegal being patriotic. It was just like the Moroccan was exposed, right? They did it against the Nigerian, but people did not notify it. They were taking the goalkeeper tower, they were abusing the Nigerians, but people did not notice it until during the final time. So Senegalese have no control of them winning the African Cup of Nations. But thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, Econ. Unmute yourself.
Oh, hello everyone, and respect to the host, Diana Samir.
Peace.
Christianity and Islam is the same thing. Islam is very much more radical. You feel me? But both are guilty of enslaving Africans in general, in mass, and for hundreds of years. You feel me? Both of them. So what I'm saying about Islam is, of course, most people is Christian and most people is Islam. Very few people is Black conscious and Pan-African and such. So I'm not expecting us to be radical because these people um are more than us, right? But we are making progress. The thing is with black Muslims, they still don't understand. The black Muslims actually think Islam is not colonization. So the black Muslim think he is colonized one time, but he's actually colonized twice. You feel me? Because they have been immersed in Islam so long, they think it's their blood practically, as if it is too long to say they were colonized. You feel me? And people don't know what colonization is either. You feel me? I'll explain colonization. Colonization is when you learn to hate anything black, the black hair and the black skin. Colonization is kind of bad mind in terms of you don't want to see black people progress. And I'm talking about the black person who is colonized. That's what colonization do. It gives you the mind of your oppressor. So Muslims have Arab minds. It don't matter what they think. They think like an Arab. Same with the Christian. Think like a white man. You feel me? They look black, but they think like a white man. So that's why this rift is going on, because the Muslims are against blackness. Actually, don't make them trick you. They don't like their skin. And they go to Mecca and get a reality check every time that they are not
If
Arabs.
if they can make it to Mecca.
Yes. You feel me? If they can make it through any type of gate around there. You feel me? So and also you will never get the respect to sing in Mecca. No Negro will never get the opportunity to sing in Mecca when them boys is walking around the damn rock. None of you privileged Muslim Negroes. But with Ibrahim Traore now, and I totally understand them. They are totally going against Islam. They actually are wrong. They trying to perfect Islam. You feel me? I don't blame them, because you cannot just get rid of Islam. You cannot just get rid of Christianity. So if they are partial with, if what I'm seeing is they are trying to do peace, right? And they are trying to be logical about it. And they have endorsed Pan-African values. Because when it comes to Pan-African, it don't matter the spectrum. We endorse the Muslim black people and the Christian black people. We love both of them. But what we would like to do is transform them into black conscious people. So you can be Islam, you can do Islam, and you can do Christianity, but you must love and respect and have loyalty to your blackness first. That's what we ask. And that's not even much to
Hey,
ask
30
since you
seconds.
black.
30 seconds, Econ. I got pass the mic.
Yes, sir. So I like the Sahel, but as I think as long as Islam exists, there's a potential for them to formulate a jihad. So maybe 40 years, 50 years after these genius dudes are gone, there might be a resurgence of dirty life, because Islam, as dude said, you cannot liberalize Islam or you can't make Islam moderate. It's just a hostile thing, and it is only for Arabs. You feel me? Because it is uncivilized, and Arabs are uncivilized. So you have to give them back their religion. You feel me? And same with Christianity, it is moderately uncivilized. You feel me? We need to give them back their religion, because what it's doing is causing, it's like politics. It's causing too much fractions in our communities. Well, when it comes to tribalism, we would like for the tribes to recognize their color first. You feel me? Let's be the black tribe. We are the black tribes of Africa, and we should start addressing the 47 countries and not no 54 countries. We are 47 countries in Africa, and we want back North Africa. I don't know. I hear Africans always calling these people Africans. We need to stop this thing. They are not Africans. They are invaders, and we want back our land. And again, we in the West, we want land. So you need to get it back for us, my African brothers. Thank you.
All right, guys, make sure you hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and subscribe. Again, please hit that like button. Go ahead, Elvis.
All right. Thank you, Don. It's hello to the panel in the chat. Look, I usually don't agree with Akon Fire, but today you were spot on. So excellent job in your summation. But let me just say this, right? I'm going to take a step back. You know, many people know I'm very critical of Islam, and most of my criticism is based on the text of it. You know, it's a texture criticism of it. But I think the people themselves will practice a religion. You know, certain things add to you and certain things subtract from you. And it's about the strength of your character and whether or not those things will add positive or impact you negatively. And I think the way we were as Africans, the tribal nature of our society, the sectionalism, the sectarianism that we have as a people, Islam brings that to bear because if you have any kind of struggle, whether it's about land or political fight, you can go on a jihad, you can go on on a holy struggle against another group of people and feel just because your religion tells you that that's the just thing to do. So whether you're a Hanafi, you're a Hanbali, you're a Maliki, you're Salafi, whatever school of thought of Islam you subscribe to, these tenets are within those schools, and you can use them to fight against your brother because you think that you have a divine right to struggle against them because you think you're in the right. So for me, I think countries like Senegal and Ivory Coast that have a large Muslim population, if the culture there is such that development is prioritized, you know, social cohesion, religious tolerance is prioritized. But again, like most people are saying, if you don't follow the Sunnah, which is the teaching of their prophet Muhammad, then you're not a true Muslim. And they tell you that you can't be friends with the mushriks, you can't be friends with people who associate, you know, partner with Allah, like the Christians, as they would call it. You know, you got to get rid of the infidels. If you capture a land that's occupied by non-Muslim, especially the Christians and Jews, you make them pay the jizya, a tax, so you don't kill them. So there's a lot of things that a lot of African, Muslims don't practice, which essentially, you know, disqualify them from being true quote unquote Muslims. So on the continent, there are a lot of moderate African Muslim because they realize that practicing Islam in its intended form is going to be destructive to the entire continent. So most of them tend to, you know, abide by certain tenets and kind of discard the others. But for me, I think it's about we, the people. Maybe we just can't figure things out to develop ourselves. I think a religion like Islam is destructive, corrosive, and erosive. But at the same time, it has we have a character flaw as Africans that kind of holds us back from developing on our own, our culture, our mindset. You know, it's hard for a religion like Islam to add, you know, positive rather than bringing out the negative side of us. So for the Muslims on the panel who was, defending Islam, to my brother City, my Liberian brother, most people haven't read the Quran or read the Hadiths or read the, the interpretations of them. But for me, I've studied it, extensively, and definitely I can tell you without fear or favor, Islam It's a militant religion. It ostracized Africans. Somebody like Bilal that many Africans, like to emulate. He was just a slave to Muhammad given to him by Abu Bakr. The most famous black man in Islam was a slave, and he wasn't free even after Muhammad died. He was begging Abu Bakr for his freedom. So Islam has enslaved the Africans even during the time of their prophet. Nobody would tell you that Jesus Christ was for slavery or he had slaves with him as he was walking as one of his companions. Nobody would tell you that. He never advocated for slavery at all. So it's just different. And I'm not saying that that's the reason they're undeveloped, but some of the tenets in the religion give people who are part of that religion the fight to fight against their brothers and to fight against other people. But thank you, Donnie. I'll pass the mic.
All right, go ahead, Jagoon.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Good evening to the whole panel. Well spoken. Thank you, my brother. Well spoken. I think I can fire, and the last gentleman who just laid it down, and indeed well spoken by most of the panel. This is a fundamental question and a good one. Let's get to it. Again, from the individual that was defending Islam or saying that Africa's being held back.
It's CD.
Yes, fair enough. Has nothing to do with Islam. I was actually waiting for an Islamic apologist to come on and say exactly what you said. It could be, these things could be quite easily fortuned. We can expect that somebody would come with that defensive approach. Now, whilst I understand it, I think everybody has spoken so well on this topic that suggests that Islam is a factor. It's a big factor. Islam at its bones is racist against nearly everyone who's not Arab, but definitely racist against black people. For some reason, black people don't see it. I'm a Nigerian myself. I have a dear friend who's another Nigerian. He is a Muslim, and he cannot help but to defend Islam. Anytime we get into a conversation, I've actually banned us from speaking about religious topics because he doesn't speak it fairly. He speaks it one-sidedly, and as though because he said something, it has now become law. You see, that in itself, that the thing that doesn't promote discussion, promote understanding, is very, very bad. It's simply bad. People have spoken very well. I'm quite proud of the panel today, in terms of the conduct and what's been said. You see, there are some things that.
Yeah, but
If I can.
By the way, I just wanted to add that because you said there are Africans that are unable to speak fairly about Islam, and I wanted to confirm to you because Sheikh Anta Diop, that is like one of the biggest scholars, intellectuals on the continent, like all-time greatest, arguably.
We know him.
Right. So this guy found it very hard to bang on Islam because he was of the Islamic faith himself.
Very good.
And yet
let me continue, please.
He did so much.
My brother, it's my turn. Nobody has been disturbed at all in this event, apart from you disturbing me. Please.
He was complimenting you. He was complimenting you.
I do understand. I do understand, but please, sometimes, when you're listening on a panel, you have many things that you're trying to truncate into saying so that you make sense. Allow me to be streamlined in my thinking, please. The French and their part to play, and the whole European society that enslaved, oppressed, subjugated, confused us in their colonization. We know to us it's much more recent history, and the impact has been felt globally. We weren't necessarily in the Americas in such numbers as we are today without the transatlantic slavery. We're not in Europe necessarily on the second or third berth, as it may be for us being in Europe, without the transatlantic slavery. So when we look at these aspects of what is modern and what is antiquity, When the modern world is the world of the European. When we look at antiquity, we're looking at Asia, really, in many aspects. So today, because the world is being run still by the European conglomerates, we see that easily they are to blame for much of our confusion, our holdback, all of our mess that we are in. But having said these things, I still put the blame, if you like, fundamentally, or at least the responsibility, if not the blame. The responsibility fundamentally lies with the Africans, and what we fail and continuously fail to achieve within our own bracket. What it is that there is for us to do, the responsibilities that we actually have, we forego them. We don't discuss it. It has not become as national in Europe, within the European blacks, as it has been, as the opportunity has been given to the USA blacks, particularly, or at least the blacks of the Americas. But the USA blacks have been particular in bringing all of our understandings to an institutionalized point of view, if you like. And what I mean by that is that the whole Black Power, the whole ethos of Pan-Africanism is coming from the Americas. It has been mushroomed in many places in Africa, but we haven't been able to get it well within our own education systems that allow these things die down, these mindsets, these spells, these what you might call advances in sophisticated authoritatism, but it's being put upon us as opposed to it's coming from us. So we are always under some kind of oppression, depression, because it doesn't fit our psyche to be following all these aspects of life that aren't ours, that do not fix our problems, that do not look to our issues. And I think this is what we got to turn around. Whether we be Islamic, whether we be Christian, whether we be fundamentally of a mind that is more material than spiritual, whatever it might be, we've got to tackle these problems. And that's why I thank Danis for bringing a panel and bringing a question. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, V.
Hello, guys. Good. I don't know what your time is, Danny, so I say good day, whatever, and I
Good.
say
No,
hello to.
it's 8 o'clock here in Atlanta.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so 8 p.m. then it's good evening, then, isn't it? Okay, yeah, all right, good. Yeah, the topic.
Just say Ekale.
What did you say?
Just say Ekale.
Ekale.
Ekale. I'm not Yoruba. I'm a kind.
Oh, I thought you were Europe. Oh, okay. But I thought
I'm
you're
a
from.
kind.
I thought you're from Nigeria. Okay, my bad.
Okay, it's the same, you know.
It's saying.
It's the same, good one. Good. All right. Let me gather myself, and it's very, very interesting topic that you're discussing this evening. I mean, you have to go back from the beginning. Islam was the first Abrahamic religion that came to us in West Africa.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Stop interrupting her, bro. Let her talk, man.
Sorry about that. Sorry about
No, I'm not saying
Judaism. Judaism was the first.
Stop. No, come on. Hold on.
Let lady talk.
Hold on. Judaism has its roots in Africa. So that is part of our indigenous belief. What you call
very
Judaism.
Good. Very good. I stand corrected. I like what you said. Yes, you're correct, my man.
Well said, women. Well said.
Let me just carry on then.
Yes,
Judaism. And now I will even say our African beliefs and practices predate Judaism. Mm-hmm. And it's what, I mean, I don't know how to describe it. But a lot of the things that is done in Judaism, it is done in many indigenous African religions.
Correct.
So let's put that aside.
You can make the same argument for Christianity and
Yeah,
Islam.
let's not go. That's why I didn't want her to be interrupted, because it's gonna go down a rabbit hole. Let her get her original thought out,
Let
man.
me just say what I know. The little that I know may not be
Islam.
fully facts, but this is what I know. Now, talking of Islam, so if you put that aside, talking of Islam came to us, the Abrahamic religion, that was the first that came to us in North Africa. Well, sorry, West Africa. Prior to that, there was Christianity in North Africa. And in certain parts of Eastern Africa, they were practicing Christianity.
Ethiopia,
yeah. So in terms of West Africa, you have to go back to the beginning of how Islam came to us. It came to us in a form of jihad, fighting.
Yes.
And in many instances, you find community leaders, because when they come, those what they call the name they call them, I forgot, Janjaweed, so they call them Janjaweed, but you know that kind of, when they would come in their horses with their swords and everything, it's convert or you are dead. And a lot of community leaders, this is the history. Let nobody take offense in that, because we Africans, we like to brush important issues aside and take an offense. Oh, you're talking against my religion. I'm not against any religion. I'll go on to and speak a little bit about Christianity too. And you see, convert or you are dead. And often you find that certain community leaders, they converted to Islam to save their people. And when they capture a village and they say converted, they put people there to spy on you. Now, if you try to deviate from that, then they come back at you again. And somebody talked about the Islamic tax and all that went on. But I'm talking about how many were converted in West Africa. It came to us in a form of what they call jihad. Okay, now that being said, so this is 100 years, many 100 years down the road. And then Christianity also came to West, the Guinea Coast. Now, Christianity came with a form of trading with us. Later, they turned into another story, into enslavement and everything. Prior to that, the Muslims have also done their enslaving up in the trans-Saharan enslavement. Okay, now coming back to modern recent times, how we're struggling with this both Abrahamic religion. A lot of the times you will find that the people that are entrusted to teach this religion are very ignorant of the religion itself. That's a fact. And people have to accept that. You take Muslim, for example. I remember as a young girl, when my dad was going around with my father, and you see, in Ghana, we have Muslims and Christians. We live relatively peacefully. Even in a family, you find all the three beliefs in there, Christian, Muslim, and traditional beliefs, and they live very, very peacefully. And then we have people coming in with the things called the Makalanta. I don't know what in Nigeria, I think not in Nigeria, they call it the Amahajiri or whatever they call it.
Yes, sir.
They came in with that. All they told those children is to read the Quran in an Arabic, a language that they do not understand.
Imagine.
Read it just like that. And then whatever knowledge that the person teaching would impact it on you, whether correct or wrong or right. They don't understand it. They just read it and they perform their religious rituals daily. And that is it. That is how the religion came to us.
Terrorism.
Please, can I finish, guys? Yeah, please, no. And this is how many of us understand the religion. Now, coming to these modern times, why the religion or both Christianity and Islam is becoming a problem for West Africans is Christianity. When you find that a lot of these leaders that are Christians, they are into corruption big time. They are corrupt. And they're using the corruption and their allegiance to people outside the country to suppress the people. When you go to predominantly Islamic communities like in northern Nigeria, which is this issue is particularly very, very strong in northern Nigeria, and they're using Islam to dominate the people. They tell them
Yep.
everything. Just be a good Muslim. Do this. Go to the Al-Muhajirin and read the Quran. Don't do anything else. You tell that Allah will provide. Instead of them to encourage and bring proper, fully education. Now, I don't mean education in the sense of just learning about European education. It could be an African education. Because if you look at the history of northern Nigeria, the Hausas, who are predominantly in the northern Nigeria before the Fulanis came, even before the Fulani, Usman Donfodio came to Hausaland, the Hausas were already Muslims. But Usman Donfodio came with the jihad saying that they were not proper Muslims, which was somebody was explaining earlier. That these people, the West Africans, they always view us as, it doesn't matter how good a Muslim they are not proper Muslims. Because some of them are for a long time still hold on to a lot of our beliefs and our culture. You know, they force them, and to them, to be a proper Muslim, you have to abandon everything. You have to abandon your traditional names. So that's why you find them that even in certain communities in West Africa, they don't even know what their traditional names are, because everything has to be Muslim.
Go ahead.
And that also did happen within the Christian community as well. That because in Christianity too, they were the one that set up the schools. You know, the missionaries set up the schools. Now, for you to take your child to the school, say for instance, people have African traditional name, they'll tell you you have to give them a Christian name, and then the Marys and the Sarahs and John and Emmanuel's and all that came in through that way too. The Christians did it to a certain extent, but not to the severity that the Muslims insisted. The Muslims were very insistent that African has to be fully Muslim. The African not only does he have to abandon everything in our culture, they have to abandon their names, everything. And in order to do that, even if they have to do it by force, they would do it. And they did. So this is where the confusion lies.
Christians did the same thing. Christians did the same
She
thing.
said that.
Did say that.
That's
Y'all
what she
stop
said.
interrupting her, man. Why y'all doing
I
this?
did say that. That's why I said both
Listen.
this Islamic, both this Abrahamic religion are causing us a lot of problems and confusion. And why I'm saying that is to the point where the Muslim, West African Muslim, doesn't even believe he's an African, he believes he's an Arab. Anything Arab is good, and whatever African is bad. To a certain extent, the Christians also do that. You see, so we have a lot of problem within our community, whereby I blame it personally. I blame it on the people that teaches the religion. The people, they often reading these texts, they don't have full understanding of the text. They force the children to learn them in Quran. In Ghana, for instance, they have to add Islamic, Arabic teaching in our schools, so that when the children are Muslims, at least when they're going to read the Quran in Arabic, they can understand it. And you have people that also at a certain point went to the Arabian countries, predominantly Saudi Arabia, and they came back with that Wahhabism, which is another problem on top. Because African Muslims, I know that they practice something that they call Sufism, where it's very, very prominent in Senegal. And they have a lot of their tradition involved as well. And then often there's those Wahhabis that gone to Saudi Arabia and come back telling them that it's not the right way and you have to abandon everything. And this is where the problem is. Because how do you tell a man to throw away his soul? Your soul is not an Arab. Your soul, whether you're Christian or Muslim, your soul is not, if you're Catholic, your soul is not a Roman. You know, your soul is African. So you tell an African man to abandon everything and become an Arab by force. And a lot of them do accept it. For what reason, I don't understand. That's why I said in my family, for instance, there was a lot of resistance, even though, I mean, the reason why a lot of we Ghanaians even became Christians is one of our kings during the fighting with the Europeans, he was adopted, he was kidnapped and taken to the Sahel. It's not Seychelles, sorry. And when they brought him back, he's converted to Christianity too. Huh?
King Prempeh?
Prempeh, yes. When he came back, he then became, he was a Christian, so a lot of people follow him into Christianity. So it's half-hearted. My grandmother, that generation, they resisted. But later on, because the missionaries came in to educate people, they brought the religion, and a lot of that generation after that, my grandmothers and not generation, they accepted the religion, and they took us also into the religion. So I could say my family, for instance, they've been Christian about 120, 150 years. Now that even is not even proper Christian, because when I'm in that family house, they're doing their traditional stuff, whether you like it or not, they do it. So we Africans, we have to blame ourselves and stop blaming everybody else. Why should you sit on your land? Doesn't matter, you're a Muslim or Christian, and somebody comes to you and tell you that you have to abandon everything you are and accept this thing, or otherwise you are haram or whatever. Why do you accept that? Considering that black people have been on this earth longer than every of these people came in. So if we were that bad, how did we as people, black people, manage to go on and develop to spread across the whole world in a way, bring forth humanity as we know it now? So we have to blame ourselves. We have to blame ourselves. Our elite are often using religion. If they're not using religion, they use tribe, which is the Christians
They had
do a lot.
more
They often
guns.
use
They
tribe.
had more guns. They had more guns and they were more uncivilized. So they were more brutal. That's what we need to do. We need to reverse the process.
Initially, they came with a sword. They were riding on the sword. They came with a sword, and they chop up your head right on the spot. If you say convert and you refuse, they will chop your head off. And that's how they did it at some point. But what I'm
savages.
saying is people were mentioning people like Sheikh Anta Diop and a lot of educated people who are Muslims. They're in a different league compared to the bandit that's running riot in Nigeria. They are educated people, so you can. There is a huge gap between the educated people that somebody was mentioning, and then the people that are literally on the ground, or say within the community, causing the havoc. I mean, today I heard, or 2 days ago.
So what about the Nigerian leader? Isn't he educated? The
No,
Nigerian Muslim leader.
No. You're getting her off her track. She's going somewhere, and
No, but the sister has been speaking for a minute. Like
what
Let
she's saying
me
is
ask you
sound.
this question. I don't know this sister. I don't know. She says she's from Ghana. Let me ask you this about Christianity. The slave doctrine in Ghana, right?
Why you asking her that? Did she say Christianity is good? Did she say Christianity is good? Did she say Christianity is
I'm
good?
just asking you a question.
I can cool it down, brother.
Let me finish. Let him finish. What were you saying about
He's throwing
I'm
us
asking
off.
you because you spoke about the both religion, and you've been very, very somehow negative
Hypocritical.
about Islamic religion, and I understand that. But I'm asking you, were the Christianity involved in slavery in Ghana, that the slave doctrine, the Portuguese and the British?
The dungeons
I'm
initially
asking you a
was built.
question. I don't want
Let
you
her
to go into
answer.
the history. Were they
Dictate to me.
involved?
Let her answer.
Excuse me. You asked me a question.
Right.
The way I understood your question, let me answer you. Okay, if that's all right with you.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, the dungeons were built initially for trading. Later, it became. Oh, come on now, please. Now, can you stop? Let me finish.
I don't want you to go into that whole history.
No,
I'm
you're
asking
tricking
you,
yourself. The dungeons was built for
Christianity
slavery.
involved in the slavery? That's my question.
Hold on,
Was they involved?
Hold on, dude. Let me straighten her up. The dungeons was built for slavery, but they told your people that it was for trade. But it wasn't for trade. It was to bring people to Jamaica.
And the second question is, I've seen.
You guys are being very ignorant in not listening.
Yeah, but she's wrong. Don't they have to build a Hold on. If the dungeons is at the bottom of the castle, don't they have to build the dungeons first?
Do you know the first people to build a dungeon in Ghana? Do you know who they were?
Jagan.
No, I'm asking a question.
Jagan.
No.
The Portuguese.
She doesn't know her own history. She just doesn't know her history.
She does not.
It's the Portuguese. We not.
She doesn't know her history.
Hold on. We not stupid, Jagan.
Hold on, Ekan, chill out.
Can
Okay,
I
so
finish my
CD,
point?
V, 1 second, CD. What was your question, CD?
My question was, were the Christianity involved in slavery, the Portuguese and the British? Were they
Yes,
giving
they
them?
were. Yes, there
What
were.
I did say,
Okay.
I did
Yeah,
say
yes,
Okay,
there
at the
number
were.
one. Number
beginning they
two,
were
my second question. Listen. I have seen
don't order me about it. If you want to ask me a
because you
question,
don't know.
do it
Well,
politely.
okay,
Daniel's already
You're
answered you.
taking my time.
You don't know.
if I can interject real quick. So in Cape Coast Castle, there's actually a church in Cape Coast Castle that was
Thank
being
you.
used back during
Let me
slavery.
just finish. Let
No,
me
no,
just
I don't
finish
want to.
what
I don't
I'm
want to
That's not
saying.
enough
listen to anything
information.
anymore. I want to ask you the
No,
simple
Let her
question
wait.
talk.
Are you going to stop
Let her
then?
talk.
Are you
because you
going to
don't know.
stop and
You
let me
don't know
talk then?
because you don't
Are
know.
you
Stop the
going to
noise.
Daniel's
stop
already
and let
answered
me
your
talk?
question.
No.
Be
Let
quiet,
hold on.
CD.
Let V finish. Go ahead, V.
You don't have the right to tell me what you say, mister.
No,
Go ahead,
but
V.
I ask you a question. If you don't know, you don't know.
CD, be
Lord Jesus,
quiet,
God.
CD.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
y'all gotta
Talk.
grow up, man.
go
This
ahead, go
childish.
ahead, V. Go ahead, V.
Listen. It was the Portuguese that came down the Guinea coast first, and they encountered the Ghanaians. Well, no, they were not Ghanaians. The people in the on the coast. It was the Portuguese. They were the first to build the first Elmina Castle, which they have the dungeons underneath. Later on, the Dutch came, and the Danes came, and the
That's right.
British came. And the British were the one that also built the Cape Coast Castle. Now, let me tell you something. They built those castles initially because when the Portuguese came, they came to trade with us. You see, they came to trade. And when they came to trade, they asked the local king at the time, and he gave them the grant, which it was something that he shouldn't have done, but he did. Gave them the grant, and they built the castle. They couldn't trust the locals, so they brought a lot of West African people within where they have been to help them build that castle, and they did. And they were literally trading with us. It was later on when they went to the Americas and they did all the damage there, they killed all the people, and then the people ran away and they needed people. And that's when they went to one of their kings in Spain, telling them that there's this group of people that they look very similar to the people in the Americas, and that's where slavery came in. So slavery came in later, and it was used to enslave people.
When
Yes,
was the castle built? When was the castle built?
I've forgotten, but it was about
Before slavery or after slavery began?
castle was built before slavery.
Before.
Lies.
Yeah.
No, it's not a lie. It's not a lie. You
Yes,
see,
it is
Elmina
wait.
lies.
Castle.
I can. Let me just
She
tell you.
don't know. She don't know.
Wait,
She don't know.
bruv. Okay,
There,
just wait.
hold on, man.
Just wait. Just
Dragon,
wait.
Dragon.
I
I'd
can.
like you
No,
to.
I can. I'm
Dragon.
asking you to
Castle.
wait.
Hold on,
I'm
Dragon.
asking
You are
you.
Elmina
Nigerian.
Castle.
Yeah.
You are
Wait.
Nigerian.
Let me just.
We from the Caribbean. We can
Oh
tell
dear
you
God,
stuff too.
man.
So just
No, I'm not saying that
Dragon,
you
just be
can't.
quiet for a
Let me
little
just
bit.
speak.
No. Let me speak. Let
Oh,
me speak. You just calm down a little bit, man. You feel me? Those castles are not from the 15th century. They are like from the 16th, 17th centuries.
No,
You feel me?
Elmina
no.
Castle.
Hold on.
No, you're talking about
Wait, sweetheart.
Now I'm gonna interrupt you now because you're talking about Cape Coast Castle and
Let
Elmina
me just,
Castle.
Sister V.
Elmina Castle was built much earlier.
It was.
Elmina
It
Castle was
was.
built
Look here.
It
earlier.
Look
was.
here.
Later,
No,
they
you
built
look
the
here.
Cape
You look
Coast
here. I'm
Castle.
gonna speak. I'm gonna speak now. You see, when
Look.
the Portuguese came to West Africa, they came a long time before any other European. They
Yes.
came before the Americas was founded. Before the Americas was founded. So they were trading with us for an awfully long time, looking at their hotspots, their coasts, all the way into Asia. So Ghana was a post. Lagos was a post. They had somewhere else in, I think it was Angola. I forgot the actual.
The
You hear the
Congo.
view
The
of
Congo.
South
you hear the
Africa,
view of the
all the
African.
way. Wait.
You
Listen.
hear the view
No,
of
you
the
got to get it
African.
right. You got to get
The
it right.
African think
Just be
the
quiet for a
Africans
while.
think they know
I can.
everything. You feel
May I
me?
talk? No.
You
I'm
are
talking now to
Hold
give
on.
you some
Guys,
understanding of the history that took place.
the host is
Why do you have to be so ignorant that you don't want someone to talk?
hold on, John.
I know the history.
Oh
I'm
Lord,
not ignorant of this.
you're not gonna talk over the host,
You
man.
see,
Chill
even
out.
the name, the word,
No,
the
no,
name,
I'm
the
not gonna talk
name,
over the.
Oh Lord, stop it.
the
So, but
the name where that the name of where that
You're
building
talking over
stands.
the host. You're talking over the host. Econ,
Okay, sorry.
I've been to Elmina and I've been to Cape Coast. Yes, these sites were first originally these sites were originally owned by the Portuguese, and it was strictly for trade before it became of goods, before it became intended. The use became for the slave trade.
And alumina, the word alumina means mining, because when the Portuguese came, they met the people at the by there, they were mining. And there was this thing about in that coast that when somebody comes to buy something from you, something they came and they get the Portuguese came with their ships, and when they got to the coast, they leave some stupid trinket. And what did our ancestor give them? They gave them gold. That's why they started calling Ghana Gold Coast. And the word alumina means, in Portuguese, it means mining. So initially they came to trade with us.
Yeah, Econ. It wasn't originally for the castles originally. The intent for the castles originally was just for regular trade, not for the slave trade.
I don't think so, Gon. I don't think so.
Afterwards. It is what it is, Econ. I've been to both sides personally.
Yeah, but all right, listen to what I'm saying now, Gon. No, listen what I'm saying now, right? We in Jamaica, right? We in Jamaica.
Okay.
We in Jamaica came to Jamaica 1492. That's when we Jamaicans landed in Jamaica with the Spaniards. You hear? Okay. 1492. What I'm trying to tell
where did they come from? The first Jamaicans.
Well, of course, you had the Moorish conquering, conquering of the
Let me
Moor.
tell you, see, you guys
just hold on.
Let me just say something.
You want to hold on for a minute?
The Europeans,
I can't talk.
They were also on the Senegalese coast, and
can I speak?
Can I finish? What are you talking about? Maybe the Jamaicans that came, they didn't come from Ghana, because they could also have come from
that was my point. That's why I asked. Where did they come from?
Yeah, but Ghana didn't exist. All right, just hold on. Just hold on, please.
From the
just hold on. First of all, V, do you know about the Moorish conquest of Europe?
Yes.
Do you have talking about?
You had information about that?
Econ, what does that have to do with Elmina?
Hold on, because 1492 is when the fulfillment of the conquering of Spain by Spaniards, the white people, and that's the Romans, that's the Roman Catholic and the Jews and Europeans chased out the Moors. They chased out the Moors and started the Spanish Inquisition. Hold on, wait.
No.
But that was 1492.
Oh God, I just gotta meet you. Econ, the first Europeans didn't get to the West until 1492, and that was Christopher Columbus. He didn't land in Jamaica. I'm lost.
And also, they were not in the Guinea Coast.
Yeah, I'm lost, and there was no, I'm lost, Econ. Just help me out.
And even and when they first came to the Guinea Coast, you see the Gambian River, they could sail their ship into the Gambian River.
But Econ,
I have more question for you.
Hold on, Econ. Are you saying that Christopher Columbus came to Jamaica first?
Yeah, Haiti and Jamaica was the first places he found.
No,
Haiti and Jamaica.
No.
Yes, he found Hispaniola. Listen, this Caribbean history, right? Hispaniola was Haiti. That's the first place that the Spanish
But they didn't come with slaves at the time. They didn't come with slaves.
They didn't come with slaves, and then you said, "What does this got to do with
Jamaica?" They had slaves, but they didn't come with.
Well, I don't know about that history.
Bro, come on, we got to move on. I mean, Econ, we got.
All right, I have one more question for her.
Go ahead, Petey.
All right, my question is: in Ghana, I have seen a church in Ghana, right? a pastor naked over 50 women and give all of them a bath in a church. I have
Yes,
seen
CD.
church. Listen, let me
I
finish. Let
never
me
said
finish.
the churches are doing
Let me
anything
see. Let me
good in
finish.
Ghana. I didn't say that.
I went to Catholic
Dude,
school. I'm a Muslim, but I went to Catholic school. I have seen
Fulanis
church
are
in
rapists.
I've
Dude,
seen church in
Fulanis are
Nigeria.
rapists. So what are you
Sir,
talking
please.
about?
I've seen church.
Janjaweed are rapists. So what are
Let me
you
come to
talking
my
about?
point.
You gotta calm down, man. Just calm down. Make people talk,
Let me
brother.
finish my point.
Yeah.
Let me finish my point. My
But
reason of
they
saying
are not
this
perfect.
is no religion is perfect. Even within
Nobody
the
said that,
Islamic
CD.
religion,
Don't get
right?
overly emotional about religion. That
No,
is our
listen.
problem in Africa.
With
People
with
get so super emotional when you're talking about religion instead of
okay, let me
looking at the
finish. Let me
practicality
finish
of
my
it.
point. Within the religion, there's always or people that practice the religion on the opposite direction, right? I
Right.
have seen a church in Nigeria where the pastor telling people to go outside and eat the grass like an animal,
That was
like a
South
goat,
Africa, by the way. It was
Right.
South Africa.
right?
It was South
I've
Africa. It
seen
wasn't
a church
Nigeria.
in
He said
Kenya.
that he seen it like he was
I've
there.
seen a
You
church
weren't
in
there.
Kenya that have killed over 500 people that make
Yes,
the
that's
people to
true.
starve themselves
Nobody's
to
going to
death.
dispute that.
So my reason of saying this,
My friend who's talking,
listen,
can I just ask you a question? You see
let me
what you're
finish. When I
speaking.
finish, you ask your
Wait, no,
question.
I'm gonna
Yo,
ask you
why
a
do
quick
y'all
You can
gotta
question.
feel
ask me
like y'all
question
gotta
when I'm
interrupt
having
people mid
question.
sentence,
No, I
Why
don't
you
want
man?
to interrupt
interrupting
him.
me? What's
No,
the
you
problem?
see what it is. You're going to a religious point. The point of the question
I'm finished
is
my
just
But
question.
let
If
him
I
make
finish,
it
then you will
though.
talk.
Then you retort, man. Come on.
no,
Like
No.
this
not like that.
disrespectful, bro. It's been happening
What
the
it is,
entire time.
unfortunately, he's being defensive by attacking another religion, and that's not what the question is. That's not what we're here to do.
Nah,
We're
I
here
So
to,
agree, but let him finish his thought,
nah,
then
man.
let me
retort
finish
because
my
it's
thought.
just gonna turn into
So
everybody speak. It's a free fall, and it's
if you
turned into
see
that the past 15 minutes.
if you see Islamic religion, there's different factions within Islamic religion. They have the Sunni, they have the Shia. Within the Sunni, they have separate type of groups, right? Being a Muslim, I don't agree with certain things that they practice within the religion. Going at the extreme of being a Sunni Muslim, or being at this going at the extreme of being Shia Muslim, right? The Shia are the one that are from Iran, and they have some of them from Iraq, the
Oh
southern part of
Lord.
Iraq, right? So my reason of saying this, religion is a very sensitive topic. People
It isn't.
can
It's
be
only the
within Islamic
Africans.
religion. They
CD,
are
I'm going
not.
to
Yeah.
disagree with you on this very strongly. It's only
Yeah,
the
you don't have
Africans that
no
makes the
business in
religion as it
Islam,
is.
CD.
So within the Islamic religion, people have big disagreement, right? If I go to the mosque, I stand up, I want to pray, I put my hands up, and then another person next by me can put his hand down. I have some sort of disagreement with him, right?
Yeah, silly
Same as
Negroes.
same as in any religion for that matter. The reason people identify themselves with religion is to have some sort of discipline in your life, right? I'm not a religious person. First of all, I went to Catholic school all my life, right? But being my parents are Muslim, yeah, I follow the religion because of my parents. But do
CD,
I agree with
CD,
everything
do
that
you
happened in Islamic
consider
religion?
yourself, CD,
No,
please, let me ask you a question quickly.
do-
Do you consider yourself as an African first or Muslim first?
I'm an African first. I always say that.
Well,
I'm
that's good.
always African first. This is the
Then
why
you're not a Muslim, then,
I
brother.
have
Brother,
disagreement with Senegalese.
you,
When Senegalese went to Morocco, right? They abused them. They called them monkey. Senegal was one of the countries that was supporting Palestine,
Oh, that's
right?
war.
Right. And I was telling them, why you guys supporting Palestine when people die in Congo? So you tend to put the religions up front all the time. And all the time you guys want to identify yourself with the Arab, but they have no respect for you guys. And that's the biggest mistake a lot of Africans make. They take religion first. But me, I'm more of African person. When I saw them demonstrating because of Palestine and people dying in Congo, it was on the same shoe I was questioning the Senegalese guy. I said, why not Congo? Right? Why not Sudan? But because the Palestinians are 90% are Muslim, that's why you guys are demonstrating for it. Makes no sense. So I'm more a Pan-African person than being a religion. The religion I practice religion is just for discipline for me to have some sort of religion in my life. But I'm not a Sunni Muslim. I'm not a Shia Muslim.
Okay, let me read
religion.
I gotta read this super chat. Unity is strength. Thank you for the $5 holla. Islam is just another religion among many, while France wants all Africans either in some degree of slavery or dead to exploit the land and resources. Andre Miller, 1566. Thank you for the holla. These rude, useless men are why Africa is screwed. Afro Man, are you there? Go ahead and mute yourself, Afro Man.
Yes, hello. Can you all
go
hear
ahead.
me?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. I think the topic is being a bit confusing in the way people are thinking of it. I don't think people are being critical enough. First of all, let's set a few parameters here. Historically speaking, if we are going down the line of slavery, yes, Muslims, the Arabs, did some level of slavery in Africa. So did the Christians. But as well, so did the tribal groupings in Africa. And so if you're going to condemn Christianity and Islam based on slavery, then also condemn the tribal groupings that were involved in slavery prior to Christianity.
That's not the
Okay.
thing.
Secondly, let me finish. Don't interrupt me. Okay. So that's point number one. Slavery has existed in Africa, independent of Christianity and Islam. Point number two.
Islam brought slavery.
Point number two. I'm not dealing with emotional responses. I'm dealing with facts. Okay. So point number two. And most of you who are even speaking are not even on the continent. You're in the diaspora. You don't know anything about the tribal groupings and the history of the tribes. So the second point is this. Okay. If we are going to look at the success of Africans in the last 1,000 years, you cannot show me any significant empire that Africans have built outside of three empires: Ghana, Mali, Songhai. The two of these three were fully Islamic empires. We have not had a single empire under Christianity, nor have we had a single empire under what you call African traditional religions for the last 1,000 years.
Aksum.
Not only
you have to include. Are you talking of West Africa?
Oh no! I'm speaking.
Let me finish.
Hold on, Afro Man. This is the whole speaking. Oyo wasn't predominantly Muslim.
And even the two that he said, you know, the two that he said, they were
my friend, you are not the only one who knows about this history.
Yeah, Benin was significant. Benin was very significant.
Let me complete my point. Okay.
We'll let you complete your confusion.
Significant. Okay.
Shut up.
When I say significant,
Ashanti, Oyo, Benin, Dahomey,
I know all of those.
They weren't Islamic.
Listen.
He's an Arab. He's an Arab. He don't count. He's an Arab.
What about Aksum?
Dynasty, you don't allow me to speak, or you allow me to speak.
You're speaking to people you have read.
You asked the question.
There's only been three.
We don't want no.
Let him speak. Go ahead.
Yeah, we don't want no terrorists to talk.
Okay. So I'm not even going to respond to you, immature people. Okay. So now, when you look at, when I say significant empires, you look at the Mali Empire, Timbuktu. The university in Timbuktu, okay, surpassed the university in Oxford.
And Muslims destroyed it.
Number of scholars.
And Islam destroyed it. And Islam destroyed it. Muslims destroyed it.
How did Islam destroy it when Islam was the building element?
Islam destroyed all three of the empires that you named. The Songhai was destroyed by Muslims. The Ouagadougou was destroyed by Muslims. And the Mali was destroyed by the Muslims.
Ghana Empire, the original Ghana Empire was destroyed by Muslims.
You guys are just speaking from your behind.
No, you want to bring primary sources? The
Mali and Songhai were
the
Islamic
Takrur Empire,
empires.
the
The
Takrur
Muslims
Empire, along with the
besieged Ghana
Almoravids.
Empire for about 20 years. The
Hold on,
Muslims
if I can
besieged
interject real quick,
Ghana Empire for about 20 years. What are you talking about?
hold on, V. But Afro Man. So every single gain that I would say our development that Islam brought to those areas, Islam has completely destroyed throughout the Sahel.
Was Mansa Musa Muslim? Was Mansa Musa Muslim?
Yeah, he
What did Mansa Musa do?
Not before he was an African.
What did Mansa Musa do but deplete his gold reserves to impress some Arabs? Like what?
And Mansa Musa was one of the worst leaders.
Afro Man, you're missing the point. Yes, Mansa Musa was Muslim. What I'm saying is present day.
But I thought you said Muslims destroyed the empire.
Afro Man, listen. I need you to listen. Yes, Mansa Musa was Muslim. What I'm saying is present day Islam, radical Islam, has completely destroyed whatever progress or developments that these empires made.
So does it still mean that Islam was not behind those empires?
Case in point, Timbuktu. Literally, not too long ago, radical Islam came in and started destroying and defecating.
Very true. One question.
The library, and that university.
That is very true.
It's been completely.
That is very true. Can I ask you one question, Dinus?
It is true.
Dinus, can I ask you one question?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I agree that radical Islam has destroyed those Sahelian countries right now as we speak. But my question to you is, okay, were those empires Islamic or not?
I agree with you, but again, my point is Islam destroyed it. But Islam destroyed it. So what's the point?
Yes, in modern day. But that's like 700 years after.
That's my point, Afro Man. That's my point.
But that's 700 years after, brother. They were already destroyed.
That's the problem. That's my point.
But what led to the destruction was other Muslim entities.
Yeah,
other Muslim entities came down and was the nail in the camel's back and destroyed those same kingdoms that you're talking about. The Takrur destroyed Ouagadougou, and the Saudi from Morocco came and destroyed Songhai. And Mali was just from infighting from the Songhai.
600 years ago.
And your characterization of them being fully Muslim isn't even correct anyways, because really it was really the nobility. Majority of the people that were in the hinterlands were not practicing Muslims until Askia Muhammad, but far later on.
And the woman in Mali, never used to wear top. The Muslim woman in Mali.
You don't even know the history of what you're talking about, brother. Not true.
Afro Man, what I'm saying is Islam came in and completely desecrated all of these archaeological and historical sites that were built by other Muslims. They came in and destroyed.
You say it came in. It was already here. How
but
do
they
you say it came in?
But Afro, my point is they destroyed it. But they destroyed it. That's my point. They destroyed it.
But
they came in and said that those people weren't practicing Islam the same way that they're doing. The same dynamics that exist right now are the same dynamics that existed back then. The Almoravids came down.
There was no Wahhabism. That's a lie.
It's not bro. Do you want me to provide primary sources? Like, what? Let's go source for source on this, bro. Like, you just talking out your behind right now.
Are you telling me that the Mali Empire had Wahhabism?
No, I'm not saying Wahhabism. The Almoravids came and brought down their because they had a whole Renaissance movement as far as the people were not practicing the Islam that they wanted to, as far as with Sunniism. That stated then. And then when the Saudis from Morocco came down and defeated the Songhai, they had superior weapons, but that was because they weren't practicing the label of Islam that they wanted them to practice. It was a fundamentalist movement.
They wanted the gold. They wanted the gold.
Yeah, it was that too, but it was still steeped in them not being fully practicing Muslims. You don't know the history. You just talking.
You're just talking, man. I mean, I thought you were going to come. I thought you were going to come on with the parameters viewpoint that you had and say something that intelligent people could talk. But unfortunately, what you have done, you are being another apologist. We are speaking strictly about what is going on in Africa that stops our development. And you are trying to let us know who I thought as a you began again by smudging us by saying that if you're not on the ground in Africa, you don't know these people. I'm a Nigerian. I know everything about what's going on in that West Africa. I'm a student of Pan-Africanism. So for you to come on and let people know what you don't know is a disgrace. What you've come on and suggested is that we should be soft on Islam because Islam is done. Hey, you get away with that nonsense. Who do you think you're talking to?
Yeah.
You're talking to men.
You're Pan-Africanist.
You're
Are you
talking with
Nigeria
men
right now? Or you're in England?
Huh? I beg your pardon.
Are you in England or Nigeria?
Down with Islam.
I'm a Nigerian.
Dude that's speaking is a perfect
Therefore,
example.
it doesn't matter where in the world I am. It doesn't matter where I am. I know what I know.
Dude is a perfect example of why Islam it can't. These people are unreasonable. They can't even objectively analyze history without them putting their biases in it.
It's terrible. Terrible, disgusting, sneaky way of speaking. And you can't speak to men of knowledge like that. You can't.
And a serious historian who says that the Mali Empire was not an Islamic empire. Which serious historian?
Nobody said that it wasn't. The nobility was majority Muslim. Everybody in the hinterland was not. That's why they had jihads against the Mosi.
Well, first he said apart from these three large empires that took place in West Africa, there is no other place that did this without being Islamic. What about Aksum? Aksum was a Christian. What about Aksum? Do you know where Aksum is? Do you know where that is, my friend?
Yeah, but what about the Benin Kingdom? What about the
I'm just trying to give him something that he says is of wealth, of strength.
Yeah, but that's far away. That's far away. The Benin was powerful.
If it's not validated by Arabs, he's not going to consider the empire.
He himself is a Nigerian, I believe. And as a Nigerian, he knows about those empires, but he doesn't look upon them as anything.
Yeah,
he doesn't look upon them as being great.
People like him don't recognize Benin. If he
they don't. Can I just say something? You know what? Let's not be emotional.
It was the Islamic war that colonized Spain, not the Oyo or Benin.
No, let's not just be emotional
about
religion, right? You look at a country like Malaysia. Malaysia is a very populous country, and their numbers are big. I'm not sure what's their population number, but they're big, and they're over 70% Muslim. And they have Indians, and they also have Chinese there. But yeah, look how progressive they are. They are not thinking in terms. They are very religious.
You cannot compare us like that. You cannot do it. It's unfair. They don't have gold. They don't have diamonds. It's unfair. Don't do that.
No, they have nothing.
I'm talking about religion. I'm not talking about resources. I'm talking about religion. I'm not talking about resources. I'm saying that they are predominantly Muslim. But you don't see them going after people on each other's throats like we Africans do.
It's because it's homogenous. They have a homogenous culture for the most part.
Yeah, when you talk about Indonesia,
nobody is not paying them attention. Hold on, nobody's not paying those people attention like they pay Africans. It's a whole different ball game when it comes to Africans.
It is a whole different ball game.
Come on, my people.
Wait. When you look at Indonesia, the way Islam came into Indonesia was quite different than it came into nearly any other part of the world. Which is that because they had, let me land. Don't let me shout. I can. Don't let me shout.
I gotta mute you. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, man. You keep just interrupting unnecessarily. Indonesia. The way Islam came into Indonesia was through trade, and them trading with the Indians who were of Islamic identity. And through that, it grew by itself into Islam, not with jihadism, the way it has done so many. So they were able to keep a lot of their traditional culture, which is of that kind of
No, but yeah, that's that. When it comes to West Africa, it wasn't jihad for the most, as far as from Arabs direct. The jihads came from Africa, Arabized Africans that wanted to be that wanted to
Jihad
be like
takes
Arabs.
peace.
It
Yeah,
wasn't.
you're correct.
It
You're
came
correct.
through trade initially, like it did Malaysia. But I'm saying we there's a lot of retentions as far as cultural retentions directly on the continent. The thing is, when these people get exposure to Wahhabis and Salafis and just regular Sunnis, when they get exposure to that and their view, they really see what the Quran says and what they're doing is haram. That's when they become that's when they become extremists. But it's not even really extreme. They're just following what their book says. The book said, like brother said earlier, like the brother said that was speaking earlier, CD, I think his name was. He's not a Muslim. And according to Islam, you can't put no nation or no race or no ethnicity before the ummah. The ummah comes first. If you put anything above if you put anything before the ummah, that's haram. You can't do that. They want Islam is diametrically opposed to Pan-Africanism. You can't be a Pan-Africanist and a Muslim. It doesn't exist. It's not it's in the book.
All right, guys, let me pass the mic to Ben. Go ahead, Ben. Unmute yourself, Ben. Ben, go ahead.
Yeah, man.
Ben, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Ben.
Yeah, man. Greetings and thanks for having me on the platform.
Go ahead.
And can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I was saying thanks for having me on the platform. Thanks for having me on the platform. And
okay, man.
What I would like to contribute. Yeah, what I would like to contribute to the topic is this. It is my belief that one of the areas we fail to look at is that when you deal with the Euro-Asian family, and when I say the Euro-Asian family, I'm talking about those who come in with Christianity, those who come in with Islam, Judaism, etc. I believe that there was and is a concerted effort in targeting the continent. So when we say it was a result of trade, no, trade was a mean to familiarize and then set the stage for
they couldn't tell them
colonize.
it's for slavery.
So there was an.
Go ahead, Ben.
So this is what I'm looking at. So I go a little bit further now. I am being compelled now to begin to look at genetics. And when I start to look at genetics, what I realize is this. Those Africans who carry a particular haplogroup became the vehicle or the vector, the first set of vectors that they use to inoculate the continent. And I'm gonna say it as it is. So when you go into Ethiopia, North Africa, if you're talking about Amhara, if you're talking about Somali, if you're talking about Tutsi, if you're talking about Fulani, I'm gonna say it as it is. They all carry the haplogroup E1B1B. But stop. And this haplogroup have a propensity for mixing heavily with Euro-Asian. But the other haplogroup, whether it's the Twa, whether it's the dark-skinned South Sudanese, whether it is the Akan, the Igbo, the Yoruba, and so on, those who carry E1B1A, you're not going to find no more than 1% of that haplogroup mixing with Euro-Asian. You have to ask the question, why? Then you realize the target for colonization, the target was those other groups outside of the E1B1B group. So if you go online right now and Google what percentage of E1B1B is found in European You can hear me?
We can, but you're cutting in and
Can
out.
y'all hear me?
Can I ask you a
your
quick
connection,
question?
Hello?
Can I ask you a quick question, Ben?
Is that digital?
See, I think he went down.
Is that any better now? Is that any better now?
We can hear you a
It's
little
better,
piece.
but it's still cut
No,
out a
is
little bit at the end.
We hear you.
okay. Is that better now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
hear me
hear
much
you.
We can hear
clearer?
you. We can hear you.
It's
He
you
must
not
got a
hearing
delay.
us.
Yeah, you must
You're
got a
not hearing
delay.
us.
Let me pass the J.A. Go ahead, J.A.
All right.
What
Is you
he was saying was interesting, though. Interesting.
no?
All right.
I'm hearing you all. I'm hearing you all.
Ben, your connection is Ben. You got issues with connection. Call back in. Hang up and call back in. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, what the brother said there a second ago, I feel like he's trying to find a solution or answer to a question, but then he's not looking at the closeness of these populations to the areas where they
The
meet most
geography. That's
people.
what I'm saying.
You see what I'm saying? The
Yeah,
Twa
man.
and them, they're
we're
in the center Congo. If you look at Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia, these places are coastal regions right
That's
across
right.
the water from the Middle East. So these
Absolutely.
people are more, mixing is a function of proximity.
proximity. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's who you're close to that you interact with mixing. Now, the Twa and them, they have an issue too because they're more isolated and they're not competing with other people, they might have access to less of certain type of technologies. That's why if you look at history, Egypt and Mesopotamia, if you go way back then, and some of these areas, they were always like competing against each other, sharing information, trading with each other. And so they were able, even the Europeans, when you look at how they developed shipping and gunpowder and all this stuff, it's through trade, through meeting other people and all this type of stuff, that they develop these things. And so if you're
It's
kind
the
of
Arab who
isolated by
developed.
yourself,
It's the Arab who developed gunpowder.
look, I'm not
Oh,
making
it's
an argument about
Chinese,
that. The
please.
bottom
It's
line
the
is,
Chinese.
Chinese.
It's the
Oh, I
Chinese.
mean,
hold on,
invented the
All of this
gun.
stuff is
hold
a
on,
non sequitur. None of this stuff is going towards the topic at
That's a
all.
non sequitur,
Well,
exactly.
apart from that,
All of
no.
it, the
One
entire
second.
premise is a non sequitur. None of
No,
this
I
stuff has
mean
anything
they
to do with the
invented the
conversation.
gun.
No,
They
it's
invented
a
the
No,
non
gun.
man.
sequitur in
I
the
can
sense
be
that
quiet, man. Please.
it's a
Can
non
y'all hear me
sequitur.
now?
It's a non sequitur in the sense that I said it's through trade with the
Can
Chinese and all that, through access to these. That's how they came across this information. If you look at their shipping, it's probably a similar thing.
oh
You
boy.
see what I'm saying?
The
So
only thing that I've got a problem with what the guy was trying to put to us was that when you are looking at these things, do you think at that time that they knew what gene pool you fell into, E1B1A or E1B1B?
Yeah, from the
They,
beginning, the Arabs was always racist. The Romans taught them.
no, not racist. Stop that. Wait, I'm trying to find out.
They have always
Where? Wait,
recognized
wait.
our
Let me put it to you.
blackness
Oh God, what is wrong with this guy?
and wanted to change it.
Well,
okay,
Can you
I
hear
don't
me
know
now,
what's wrong
brother?
with you, man. But you don't know when to
Stop
speak
being
and
stop
when not
being
to speak.
ignorant. You can't stop
let,
nobody
But
from
you're the one being
speaking. Stop
ignorant.
being ignorant.
let me
You're the
say
one
this.
that's doing exactly that ignorance. That's
Jagan,
wicked.
behave your mouth, man.
Let me just finish
Behave your
what I
mouth,
got to
man.
say. Let me just finish what I got to
Talk
say.
if you're
I don't
talking.
need your
Talk if you're
interruption.
talking. You
Well,
can't
shut
big
up if you're
voice me.
shutting
Talk
up.
if you're talking.
Shut up
Talk,
if you're
bro.
shutting up. Shut up, bro.
Shut your
Let,
big,
let, let me let,
big
let me say
old
this.
mouth too.
Y'all stop.
Just
Man.
bitching
Come
to
All
on,
want
right.
to
man.
be
All
Nigerian
right.
is just
Well,
That's
let
the
the
kind of
other
level
brother finish,
you want to
man.
bring it
Let
to.
JA, man.
Let me say this
Let me just
Don't
say
be
because
this.
starting
I'm
shit.
saying at
because
such a
Talking to
time,
people like your children.
at such a
because
time, at such a time as when he was speaking, the gene pool was not a common knowledge. I don't believe. I believe that this is a scientific matter, and at that time they weren't looking at things as scientifically as we do today. Yes, they may have had scientists, but not like we
So
do today.
no colorism existed.
That wouldn't be that would be emotional stuff. The thing that you go through daily,
My brother,
No, but
my
emotionally.
that's
brother,
just it's
my
just
brother,
cultural though. The
my
Yeah,
people
brother,
on
that's
the
what I'm
horn
saying.
have
my
completely
brother,
the people on the
my
horn
brother,
have more Levantine culture just because of
my
proximity.
brother, my
And
brother.
the Fulani, they got Islam through the Soninke. They didn't get it directly from no Arab. So that's
My
not
brother,
what he's saying. His hypothesis isn't true.
can y'all hear me now?
Yeah,
Go for it.
Y'all can hear me clearly?
yeah,
Go
you
for
could.
it, man. If you can hear me.
Yeah, calm down, bro. You ain't got to yell at me. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not
Well,
warring with you,
I'm
my
yelling
brother.
only because maybe you couldn't hear.
Okay, all right. What I
Jagan,
am
be
saying,
quiet.
what I'm saying is this, my brother. You might think they weren't aware of these things. Here is the point that I didn't get to make all my point. What I'm saying here is the brother may talk about proximity, right? But that proximity is not the reason for that. What I observe, the thing is that when you look at history, you have to employ inductive and deductive reasoning to be able to identify these patterns, to formulate some form of to formulate, you would say, an hypothesis and then test it, whatever.
Okay, how did you do
So
yours?
no, let me finish what I'm saying, King Man, because I sat in the audience and listened. See? So what I'm saying is this: when I look at, for example, when I look at small hats people, I just found out that 50% of their haplogroup is E1B1B, which is African. And when I talk about small hats, I'm talking about 30% Sephardi, 20% Ashkenaz, right? That's one. When I look in Italy, when I look in Greece, you will find up to 19%. When you go into, I think, Bosnia and Bulgaria, you find up to 20 to 40%. So when I ask myself the question, I say, okay, what drive this? What drive this admixture with these people? So for instance, when you look at HITLER, his haplogroup go back to North Africa. Einstein, North Africa, right? And so today now, when I look on the continent and look at the Sahel and look at the role the Tuaregs playing in that conflict and others who carry E1B1B, I notice a pattern. When I go into Ethiopia and check the history in Ethiopia and look at the havoc that the Amhara has wreaked on in terms of the darker skin Sudanese tribe in southern Ethiopia, some of who are carry power haplogroup, some of those who carry AO haplogroup. I see, let me finish, bro. I see a pattern. When I look even at the Tutsis are more closely, they're not Bantu. They are mostly closely related to Amhara, Somali, and they also carry small hats DNA. And so when I look at this family of people, I notice they are some of the most racist people towards what they would call,
those are
quote
recent
unquote,
events, brother. Those are
quote
recent
unquote, let me
events.
finish,
The
King. Let
Tutsis
me finish,
and
King. Brother,
the
let me
Hutus
finish,
were living
man.
in peace until the white
Bad
Let the
man, let
man
me finish,
finish, man.
brother. Let me finish, whether you agree with me or not. We don't own no information. I'm putting it on the table. If you disagree, you disagree. Me now fight with you. So just respect. So just let me finish what I say. Seeing? All right. So what I'm saying is that when I look at the pattern now, with the pattern that I'm looking at, these people, this family, that haplogroup, they are some of the most racist people to what they're calling sub-Saharan African, which would be more E1B1A, which is most of us on this platform, and the AO that is carried by the South Sudanese, the AO that is carried by the Embo people in Cameroon and the Twa people, they exhibit great level of prejudice against those kinds of people. So I have to draw the conclusion, there is a pattern. There is a pattern.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes,
No,
go ahead.
it's very interesting hypothesis, bro.
These are recent events.
I
So how
respect
then
what
do
you
you
have to say,
explain?
bro.
How then do you
let
explain
me say
the fact
one
that
thing,
these
man.
same people that you are talking about lived in peace before the white man came?
Let me tell you, 1,500 years ago, the Arabs were colorist and racist. The same way they are now, the 1,500 years ago, they were the same thing. They didn't like nobody black, and they recognized black. That's why they call it Sudan.
You have to distinguish between the Umayyad dynasty and the Abbasid dynasty. The Abbasid dynasty saw the influx of Persians, Greeks, Turks, and Romans into Islam. They're the ones who brought the racism into Islam. Prior to that, if you go and read the writings of the Arab poets, okay, they were very pro-black.
It's a mixed bag. That's not true. It's a mixed bag.
Yeah, and we don't care about that. We don't care.
No, but he just said
poet.
But he just set himself up
the Arab poet.
I don't know why you're bringing up that. Ain't nobody care about that.
Let me tell you how he just set himself
you an Arab
up.
apologist, man.
Let me tell you how he just set himself up. He just revealed some truth to you all. Watch this.
There's a particular flaw in the Pan-African movement. Okay,
watch this,
and this is the problem with the
man. Stop being a play rap, man. Stop being a play rap.
Movement is that
watch this.
There's this idea that anything that developed outside of Africa is non-black.
The thing is,
but Islam is not black. Islam is not black. It's
brother, let me just say this if I can. You see, the point that our Jamaican brother brought to the table, for me, whether I agree or disagree, and I'm not sure that I agree, but it is the most interesting thing that has been brought to the table today in terms of what it is that we're actually looking at. He has brought his proposition that suggests there's a pattern that has taken place over the years, and this pattern is as such. These people that favor a different complexion to.
Hey, I have to pass the mic to Delroy in 30 seconds.
Yeah, sure, do that, man. All I'm saying is that being it that interesting, I'm thinking of questions that would be against or for that. And I've got a lot of questions for and against that. And I'm wondering why we've got slipped back into this, I don't know, kind of apologetic nonsense. Because that's not interesting to me. It's just bullshit.
But brother, those people have Levantine culture. That's why they act like the Arabs, because they directly have culture that's
no. It's not for this table. It's for a different idiotic table where there are idiots abound.
It is a very interesting
Jamaican dude. Let me pass it to Delroy. Go ahead, Delroy. Unmute yourself, Delroy.
Yeah, everybody doing. Listen, I'm not gonna argue with nobody tonight. I'm just gonna say a statement and get off.
No, man.
I'm sticking back. I'm sticking with the question that Don has asked: is the French or Islam or Arabs? Right. What was the question again? The French, Arabs, who's more responsible?
Is Islam or the French the biggest threat to Africa?
Okay, right. Well, this is the point, and this is a statement I'm going to say. It doesn't matter, right? Because the France, America, Europe colonize not only all of Africa, almost all Africa, right? But they colonize North Africa, the Muslims and the Middle East, the so-called Middle East. Hold on, let me finish. And the so-called Middle East also, right? The French, we want to stick to the French, and we're talking about French, right? The French have control of the Islamist terrorists. So does America. Yep. So it doesn't matter if the Arabs is worse or anything like that. The point is, France, America have control of them. They have their bases in their territory: Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, Djibouti. Every last one of them, America and France have control of it. They have control of the country. So it's irrelevant whether Islam or Arabs is worse for Africa, because the number one controller of all of them is France and America. That's just the truth. You see what I'm saying? That's just the facts. right? They have their
Yeah,
bases
and that's
all in those countries, right? So it's kind of irrelevant, right? France is who's responsible more than anyone else. Then come America. That's just a fact. They have right now. U.S. is in Nigeria, a country of almost 250 million people, right? They're in Nigeria running shotgun over Nigeria military, right? Control. And they're there because they want control of the Sahel, right? That's just the facts. You see what I'm saying? They pull the strings, they direct and everything like that, right? And that's it. Obama went into a so-called Arab country and took out Gaddafi, and the country's a basket case right now. You see what I'm saying? So it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to say whose words France. It doesn't matter because they have control of them. Right? So
they
that's
just
what
killed his son.
What is relevant? What is relevant in your mind, therefore?
No,
hold on, Jagaban. Let me say
what
something
you asking a
about this.
reverse question for? I don't understand what you asking.
No,
I just made my statement.
I understand what you're saying, but you're saying it's irrelevant. It's an irrelevant question, which is fair enough to say. But where are
I
you
just
going?
laid out my reason why I said it's irrelevant question because ultimately France and America have control of those countries.
Well, which is what you're saying. Therefore, is that France, in the question that you're answering of dynasts, is more.
Yeah, France is the most dangerous
because they have control of them.
No, it's fair enough. I'm not arguing with you.
Right.
I'm just going to the
point.
just
indirectly I want to say this. Look at the hypocrisy now. Ain't Muslims killing Christians? But now, how you killing Christians, but you working for France and you working with the white man? The Fulanis, right? They have always been friends with the British. You see me? From they gave the North control of Nigeria before the South.
That's
you
correct.
feel me? So
yes,
so that's what I'm trying to tell you, that the Muslims have they are against blackness, not the indigenous or
that's
not
the new
Christianity.
icon. But we know that we know that. That's no good. But
I'm just talking about the hypocrisy.
But Christianity is the same. It's the same.
No. What I believe I can was underlining. No, yeah. What I believe he was underlining is that in Nigeria, a country that should have grown and would have grown if the British had left the power to the South, which they educated, but they didn't educate the North. They left the North to their Islamic traits.
But why would they do that, brother? Why would they do that? That was the plan.
Because they study history. That is the psyche of what ICANN is saying. ICANN is saying, imagine the madness of leaving power with those that you supposedly did not control. But what was more purposeful to the British and the white was the oppression of the true black, of the real black.
But not only that, they are proclaiming that they are against Christianity and Islam. But the white man is a Christian. Their master is a Christian. They are in awe. Are they loyal to England and France? You feel me? So that's the hypocrisy that we don't realize that the Muslims are playing with us. You feel me? They are just after black people, not because you are practicing voodoo. Hold on, because you're practicing voodoo or Christianity. It's because you're black.
You're correct. Let me just come in quickly and say that's what my man is saying. My man, who comes with a hypothesis that it's not a valid question, as it were, he's saying that the control is coming from you, and the most oppressed is the true African.
Yeah, that's what my brethren is saying. He's saying that all of the aggressors in Africa are related practically. You see what I'm saying? That's what my boy is saying.
But icon, you know, most of the people them in northern Nigeria, from what I've been seeing so far, You see what I'm saying? I might be wrong, but they're mostly Muslims. It's mostly Muslims live in northern Nigeria.
Yeah, but
So
I'm not
most of the
talking
people,
about Muslim. No, we're not talking about Muslim.
what are you
We are
talking
saying
about?
that the next Jamaican dude before you, he said that our aggressors in the continent who are black, they are related, and they all
But
have mostly relations, blood relations with Eurasia. You feel
That's
me?
not
They have a
necessarily
lot of
true though,
blood.
brother.
yeah, but
Because
the
That's
biggest
what he.
aggressor, the biggest
The
aggressor
Fulani aren't
is
homogenous. The
No,
Fulani are
the
the most.
Fulanis are also related. That's
No,
what
no,
Hackboy
because
is
they're
saying.
they're they're
Brother,
all
you're not
they're
telling
all
the truth.
they're all not homogenous,
Brother,
brother. That's what I'm saying. With them
brother.
being nomads, they've absorbed a lot of groups that don't have the
I
same genetics as them.
No,
The
can't.
no,
You ever
man,
look at
brother.
hold on,
DNA?
wait.
That's not
The man is
entirely true
saying
what you
that
just
their
said.
action,
No,
hold on, wait, the
bro,
man
you
is
can Google it
saying
right
that their
now. Google
actions,
right now the
No, no,
homogeneity of the Fulani. They are the most
no.
diverse group on
hey,
the continent.
listen.
I can.
The man is saying that a lot of these people are acting off genetics. Now look what's
I
going
agree
on.
though.
It's the
I
mid.
agree with that.
Hold on. The most aggression is in the middle belt of the Sahel. All of that middle belt is some half Indian. I don't know what type of people them is. They have
The
all type
All
of
right,
Nah,
different
brother,
gear.
all
that's
right.
not true though.
Bec-
Because
But
again, the Soninke, which is a Mandinka group, they brought Islam to the Fulani, and then they Islamized the Fulani when they Islamized the Takrua. So it's really the mindset of interacting with them. But what
no,
he's
but
saying is correct
hold
though,
on,
as far
brother.
as
Yeah,
Hold
but
on,
what
brother.
he's saying is correct as far
but
as the genetics goes because they have the genetics in them. But when you're talking about the
bro,
Fulani, that's not really the case because they don't. Majority of them don't have the E1B1A. That's not true.
yes they do. Yes
No,
they
they
do.
don't. It depends
No,
on which
no, no,
region
no.
of Fulani you're
The
talking about.
Fulani,
That's not true.
I can't. The Fulani, the majority of them do not have E1B1A. They have E1B1B, just like the Somali, the Amhara, the Tuareg,
That's what I'm
etc.
talking
I
about.
mean, no,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
I meant
talking
to, I
about.
meant, I meant to be, I meant to be. It depends on which region of Fulani you're
No,
talking about, brother.
but the point that I'm making, bro, there is a game known as miscegenation.
No, I agree.
People will breed into you to control you. And
That's
we
fact.
see how it plays out on the continent. It
They
has
did it
been
with the
done.
Hausa. The
Hold
Fulani
on,
did
hold
it with
on,
the
bro. Hold
Hausa.
on,
That's
hold on,
fact.
bro. Hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. And we in the as a diasporan, I did not know this. I might very well have E1B1B. But at the same time, but I still got to speak the truth. I'm not going to, if I found out tomorrow I'm Fulani, I'm not going to side with no Fulani. I'm going to look at history and see the
Right.
wrongs that was done and speak the damn truth. You see what I'm saying?
Powerful, brother. Powerful.
So when you
You
look,
want to
hold
see
on, hold
this
on one
pattern?
second.
But so
Hold on
much
one
of our
second.
ancestors are Fulani. So much of our
So,
ancestors are Fulani.
Hey, so let me say
so
something,
the
man.
point that
Like,
I'm making here,
like,
is this: when the brothers that the Fulani are homogeneous, I am saying that listen, they have deliberately bred into people to take over. For example, look at what they did to the Hausa. The Hausa had their kingdom before, right? And they bred into the Hausa, and now they dominate the Hausa. There is a
But
big
brother,
conflict.
you could say that you could say the same thing about the Yoruba, but it's when it comes to the ethnic groups, there's a lot of absorption that occurs. It's a lot of genetic mixing. But
No,
what you're saying, the initial group of the Fulani, the initial group of Fulani that was in the Sahara region and the Sahel region, you're correct. They have the genetics that ties them more to the horn. But the Fulani now, contemporary times, that's not true. It's a hodgepodge.
Can I say this?
It depends.
Let me say something about. Let me say something about something. Right? Look at this pattern that they do, especially these people. You know they don't. You know Africans are the typical African are. They don't really like. Oh, we care about who is the mother and who is the father. The African sometimes will. I don't know the Christian ones because of Christianity. I don't know, but the African don't really care who is the mother and the father. Now those people,
I
like
don't know what you're talking
Fulanis
about.
Yeah,
and
Ika, man.
What are you talking
no, I
about?
mean,
What kind of
all
sentence
right,
did you just say?
What?
look. What I'm saying is,
He's talking about
they
matrilineal
will kill you.
descent.
No, what I'm saying is they will kill you for their woman.
Oh,
But they will want to have children with your woman. They will marry your family, but they will kill the men in your group. That's
You
how
talking
they
about
do. That's
Arabs?
the
You talking about
Janjaweed.
Arabs?
That's what the
Let,
Janjaweed is doing.
let me,
So look, so they have this thing where they can say, "Oh, we know our father from 1,000 years ago." They can name
That's a
their
fact.
father from what. So they'd be like father. So all of you be talking like I'm talking foolishness and getting upset, but y'all need to get it. What I'm
No, I
saying
get
is
what you're
that's
saying
how their
now.
routine is.
let me ask you a
So
question, there, brother.
it don't matter who the mother is to them. It don't matter. Once you have
Let me ask
the
you a
Arab
question.
father, they say you're an Arab. It don't matter how black you.
But Icon,
But go
what
ahead.
does that
I'm
have
done.
to do with the question, the question of the night?
No, because you're in the topic of the Fulanis go ahead and marry into groups and take it over. So what I'm trying to tell you is that's their pattern. Their pattern is kill the men and take the woman. You feel me? And formulate their own group and make sure the woman don't teach her culture. They have to take Islam. You feel me? And have to take the father's culture.
Which is 11-team pattern. That's correct. That pattern is
The
factual.
Fulani
What
are
the
the
brother said is
indigenous
factual.
Africans. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Why you think the Somalis are so hellish and behave like that? Because they are their father. They behaving like their daddies, the Arab daddies.
This is pseudoscience.
You
Well,
have a
I
theory.
think all that is whether it's true or not is irrelevant. I'm telling you, because we know
Can I
who has the
just
control.
Well, hold on,
We
hold on,
know who
say
controls.
hold on. We
something
got Bang.
on
Bang's been waiting. Let me pass it to Bang. Go ahead, Bang.
Oh no.
Okay. How's everybody?
Good. Go ahead, Bang. Go ahead and cook them. Go ahead and cook them. Go ahead and cook.
Is Islam or the French is bad? Like which one is worse to Africa, right? No, let's just look at it. If you look at most countries in like when you like in South Africa,
That guy,
majority.
the brother has a theory.
Can I speak?
Theories on
Hold
here,
on.
but the
Can I speak,
theories, I
man?
think, are
I did
misinformed,
not
man, in
interrupt
a lot of
nobody
ways,
for.
you know.
Hold on, I
Like,
did not interrupt nobody for almost 40 minutes, man. You guys were saying a lot of things. I didn't jump in, so please can I get my time respectfully? So
all right,
when you
go
look
ahead.
at like a majority of these countries in the south of Africa, from my understanding, it's not been ruled or dominated by Muslims. You know, and then I don't see Africans from West Africa fleeing to go to like to go to these countries. We usually flee to go to America, Europe, and somewhere other countries, right? And okay, now like in my time, right? I'm in my early 30s, right? Paul Biya has been in power for over 42 years. Paul Biya has been in power for over 42 years. I have not seen an African president, especially in West Africa, that's Muslim, that's been in power for over 42 years. For over 42 years. Paul Biya is a Christian. Paul Biya is a Christian. I said this before, right? If you look at history, right? The Africans that started writing books, right? They started writing books. They were Muslims. The very first ones, they were Muslims. They weren't Christians. They weren't Christians. So the Africans that start writing books as well, they were Muslims before, way before the so-called Christians that started writing books, right? And when you look at it, just like I mentioned, right? You guys spoke.
coming up. Talk of,
You
don't
guys
say
spoke.
whole of Africa. Don't say that. North
Hold
Africa,
on. That is true.
Ethiopia, they were writing. Ethiopia have their own writing. They are Africans. Stop
Can
it.
I finish my thoughts? Can
Well,
I finish my
come out
thoughts?
and make a statement that
Let
the
me
Africans
finish.
were not
Let me
writing.
finish. When you were talking about the Fulanese, did you correct them? No. So please let me finish, my sister.
It's
Let me
no
finish.
question about
I'm gonna come
Fulanis
to
are
your
not the
country.
only tribe
I'm
in
gonna come to
in
your
Africa.
country.
We are tired
Let
of
me
it.
finish. Oh my God.
Well,
You guys
don't
have been
come
speaking
in
for
with the
what?
Fulani.
2.5
We're
hours.
talking about Islam.
Can I get my time? Can I get my
F
time?
the Fulani.
You're not fighting
F
for
the
Biya to get out of
Fulani.
power. You're not fighting
F
for
the
Biya to get out of
Fulani.
power. You're not fighting for Biya to get out of power. He's Christian. He's actually a Catholic. Over 42 years. I wonder how many damages
Who
Paul
told
Biya
you
have
that
done to the
Christians are happy with
Cameroons.
their Pope?
Hold on.
Who told you that?
Man,
Who
oh
told
my
you that?
God. No.
Yeah, but you come in and making definitive statements which are not
I
correct.
did not come in to
so
argue with
correct
nobody.
yourself.
I did not come in
F
to
the
argue with
Fulani.
nobody. I did not come in to
F
argue with nobody.
Fulani.
Oh, look at Nigeria, right? Who Nigeria was regional, right? Which means now every region control their own resource, right? Every region controlled their own resources during that time, right? It was an Igbo man that says, no, let's nationalize everything and make it into one Nigeria. Let's keep that facts in history. That's very important. Nowadays,
which
it's
the
the
northern
same Igbos,
Nigerians
it's
have
the same
benefited
Igbos that complaining.
greatly from the oil coming from
I
down
can't
south.
even finish. Oh my God, I can't even finish. I can't even
Your
finish.
tribe is stealing
Oh my God,
everything.
I can't even
Now
finish.
your tribe is
It's the
stealing
same.
everything.
It's the same
Your
Igbos
tribe is
now
stealing
that wants
everything.
they want to reverse the same thing that their leaders started in Nigeria, and then
You
now
got
they
a
complain about the
thieving
problem.
tribe.
No.
You are right. But understand that these people are
Hold on.
anti-Islamic. That's why they're cutting you off.
Yes, we definitely
They're
are
anti-Islamic.
anti-Islamic. I am for sure.
It's not
You see,
Yeah, I'm
Islamic.
anti-Islamic.
Dynasty, let Bang finish.
Let me finish. I commend.
Dynasty, let
I'm not
Bang
gonna argue
finish.
with you.
Yeah, guys. Let Bang. You got a minute and 30 seconds, Bang. Go. A minute and 30 seconds. Then we
I'm
gotta
not
close
gonna
out.
argue with you. I'm not gonna argue with
Yeah,
you because
F
at the
the
end of the day,
Fulanis.
don't worry about it, man. You can't do nothing about it. You can't do nothing about it. You can say F this, but you can't do nothing about it because you don't have power. Exactly. That's reality. Now, when you look at it, right? Okay, look at these three countries, right? Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. They're dominant Muslims. Mali's about 95% Muslim, close to Niger. Burkina Faso is about what? Probably like 70% or 80% Muslims. So
Burkina Faso, it's
you
about
guys over here.
it's about
So
40.
Sister, let him finish, sister.
what does African Christians have done in West Africa that they could beat their chest? There have never been no empire under African Christians. Currently, right now, I don't see no African Christian countries doing
Man,
anything
forget
close
about
to what
Christian
they
This is a
and
straw
Arabs,
man. Why
man.
are you arguing about Christians,
This
brother?
Muslim
Nobody
and
on here
Christian.
likes
God
Christians.
fucking dang.
This is dumb.
Listen.
Ghana
You
is
guys
the
have to
best
understand.
So we're
country
talking
right now.
about
Ghana is the
Christians and
best
Muslim,
country.
bro.
You are right, but
Man,
they
I
won't
can't
accept
even
it.
finish. I can't
You're
even finish. But
pseudo-historians and
Mister,
anti-Islamic.
Ghana is the best
listen.
country in West Africa
There
right
has
now.
never
Nobody
Ghana.
on here
there
is.
has there has never been an African Christian empire.
That's
Never in
true.
West
That's
Africa.
true. Now, what's the
Never,
point?
Exactly.
never.
Now, what's the
Never.
point?
Make the noise
There
about
was
Paul Beer.
Exactly.
Make the
Christian
noise about Paul
empires
Beer.
in the north and the
No, but let him. Who
It was
cares?
an
That
Igbo
we
man
not no
with his
proponents of
greediness.
Christians. Who cares?
It was
Nor has
an
there been
Igbo
a
man with his
Yoruba or
greediness that said, you know what?
Benin or
Oh,
Oyo empire.
let's bring Nigeria together. It was an Igbo man. It wasn't nobody from the north. It was an Igbo man. Because
Brother,
you know
you
what?
repeating yourself
He
now.
wanted to control.
Who got Arabs rich? Who got Arabs rich? The United States Christians. They're the ones who got Arabs rich.
Icon.
Otherwise,
You don't know nothing about Africa.
Muslims would be
You
broke.
don't know nothing about Africa.
Icon, you're a Christian?
Icon, you don't know nothing about Africa,
No.
man. You know what?
So
Icon?
don't talk
I'm not
about
a Christian.
Christians, same bullshit,
I feel very
bro.
sad for you, man. I feel very
Of
sad for you.
course.
You know what?
Brother, you just on here bloviating though. You're not even addressing the topic. You just talking about Christians versus Muslims. Don't nobody on here care about Christians or Muslims. We saying they both bad. I don't like. What is the point?
Right?
None of them is not bad. It's the leadership.
Yes,
They all bad.
Yes, they are bad.
You're so stupid.
Yes, they are bad, man. Any religion that can make me pay a jizya because I don't want to follow it is bad.
My brother.
That's why you so stupid.
I'm not paying no jizya because I don't want to be no Muslim.
Africa don't work.
I'm not following Sharia
You don't know
law.
how Africa works. You sit.
But Africa don't work. Africa don't work, stupid. Africa don't work.
I know for a fact. Every major empire, Islam has had a part in destroying every major empire on the continent.
Is Africa working? Our Fulani is a torment in Africa.
We buried you yesterday, man. We buried you yesterday. 6 feet.
Oh, you Fulani?
Come on, man.
You fool, babe? You fool, babe?
Yeah, he's a fool. Yeah, he's a fool.
You fool, babe?
That's why he's talking.
100%, man.
Oh man, TJ, man, come on, bro.
That's why
come on, bro. Man, that makes sense.
Man. Even Nigeria belongs to us now. I don't care.
You're an idiot.
Nigeria belongs to us.
Nah, but bro, why would you be proud of that? Why would you be proud of that, man?
My brother,
like
you
y'all
don't know how Africa works, man. You don't know how Africa works.
I know for a fact.
No, you don't.
I know for a fact that the Chakrua, which is the descendants of the Fulani, destroyed the Ouagadougou Empire. I know y'all destroyed the Ouagadougou Empire.
They destroy everything.
Nah, y'all destroyed the Ouagadougou Empire. I know that.
You don't know
They
nothing,
are
man. You don't know
destroyers.
nothing.
You all are
Whatever your name is,
destroyers.
Anchorman, we destroyed you yesterday, man.
You,
We buried you 6 feet,
you're a
man.
break.
We buried
You're
you
a
6 feet
breaker.
yesterday,
You're
man.
not a maker.
You step your foot in West Africa, you have to deal with the Fulanis. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it, man. You know how many ministers we have? You know how many presidents we have? You know how many vice presidents we
Or
have?
the
You
other
know how
way
many rich
around.
people we
Or
have,
the
man?
other way
What you
around.
talking about?
No, that's good. That if y'all got so much people, y'all need to go handle them people in the north.
The Catholic
Y'all need to go handle them people in the north of Nigeria, man.
42 years.
Yeah.
42
Why
years.
you're
The good old Catholic
why
man. The good old Catholic man. Get rid of him. Because I've never seen an African Muslim that's been in power for over 42 years.
Get rid of him. He needs to go. He needs to go. I agree. He needs to go. I agree.
Talk about,
Well, I'm telling you.
the Fulani are the one destroy Nigeria. No, it was a greedy Igbo man that wanted a regional.
Nah, brother, come on. You can't. You see, you're not being objective. You're not being objective, man.
You're the one.
You're not being objective.
I don't care.
You're not being objective.
Now I don't care.
All right, guys, we're gonna close out. Everyone, thanks so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe.
Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.